Hi, everyone, and welcome to this week's installment of Mish's Market Minute. I am your host, Mish Schneider. And thank you, StockCharts TV, once again, for giving me this weekly platform. It's been so much fun and has generated a whole bunch of ideas. So with that in mind, this week, we're going to be talking about meme stocks. Not sure if you were paying attention, but there were big moves this week in AMC and in GameStop, once again spurred on by the Reddit crowd. So we're going to go through the reasons why meme stocks are hot and a whole bunch of ones to look at so that you are all at the ready if they start going. Let's get started.
So I wanted to go through some of the reasons why meme stocks have my attention, other than the fact that we just saw the Reddit crowd come big into AMC and GME. It is obviously very popular with retail investors because of social media. And yes, a lot of the traders, I call it the Reddit crowd, but they've been called many things from apes to diamond hands. It's really fun, actually, because it's an actual movement. And it's a movement that started based on a lot of the stocks that were beat up with a very high short float, meaning that there were a tremendous amount of short sellers, usually institutional sellers, that drove the price down, sometimes actually really harming companies in the process of doing that. There is the Piggly Wiggly story, if you go back and take a look at it, that also had a situation where it was so driven down that the guy almost went out of business. In fact, I think he did go out of business because of the fact that institutional investors can do that by driving a price down. So the fact that these basically younger generation kids have now been looking for stocks like that, knowing with a short float, they can easily drive the price up. What it does is it gives you a chance for some very high returns in a very short period of time. And that's how you have to think of these things, as really basically active trades. And since I know many people who watch stock charts and trade on stock charts platforms are active traders, this is kind of perfect. However, it also might give you a chance for some early ownership in a new investment idea. So for example, if you look at something like GameStop, and we are going to take a look at it today, when this first started getting driven up back in 2020, actually their fundamentals were beginning to change, and they were looking at a new investment plan of going more online. At that point, GameStops were actual retail, brick and mortar. And a lot of them, including the one where I live, were going out of business. So this gave it a new breath of life. Plus, it raises money by driving the stock price back up for the entrepreneurs involved to possibly take some of that money and put forth their new business plan. So really, the best ones are the ones that have good fundamentals, and if not good fundamentals, at least some kind of an actionable business plan that you can take advantage of. But of course, caveat, as with all trading, these meme stocks could be extremely volatile. And if they don't have the fundamentals or the buzz on them don't necessarily turn out to be true, or the buyers walk away, you can see things quickly turn around and turn into some big losses. So like with every trade that you do, you need to have a good risk reward, know where to get yourself stopped out, and know where to take profits. And this is going to be the list of the stocks that we're going to cover today. So there aren't that many, but there's enough here to choose from, some of which are already doing well, and some of which will look like they may be in sort of the early stages of getting going. So let's go to the charts. Now you can see here that I started with an ETF. And one of the reasons why I love doing this stock charts thing is this is a discovery for me as well, because as I'm doing the research to bring you the ideas, I'm also actually getting new ideas myself because let's face it, this is a business where people get stuck trading the same stocks over and over. And I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing. But as a former commodities trader on the floor, I'm always looking for the next good idea and the idea that may be coming into it ahead of the crowd, like I was saying, certainly with some of these meme stocks. So Buzz is this ETF that actually measures social sentiment, and it's not a very big ETF and it doesn't trade a lot of volume. But what do you see right away here? What you see is that it is cleared over the last 3 days, the 50-day moving average, which is still, of course, sloping down. However, if we come down here to leadership, and again, I always say, if you don't have our ACP plugins for Market Gauge, they have just made us so much money, from mean reversion trades to momentum divergence and price confirmation to showing when a move up is exhausted, another mean reversion from the sell side as opposed to the buy side. They're just really great because momentum is something you cannot see except through this indicator. But anyway, enough of the commercial break. Let's go on. So now you can see here that the momentum, exactly what I'm talking about in Buzz, started to flip when it cleared the 50-day moving average back here, which was on March 18th, back here. I mean, that was last week, but still, a 1 week in this business can make all the difference in the world. So all you needed basically was the confirmation over the 50, which is kind of what you're getting right here yesterday and now today, with it touching the 50-day moving average, sort of testing the breakout. So what I'd like to do is I like to take this day right here, say that basically if it got through 1912 to 1915, then that would probably be, or if you really wanted to go a little bit lower and say through 19, you've got such a tight risk. I like to risk to under the low of the day that it cleared the major moving average. So on this day, the low was 18.25. So literally you might have a 75-cent-ish risk to see if other meme stocks start going. Now, the next one we're going to cover, of course, is what we were just talking about, which is GameStop. So, if we just go back in history just a little bit here, this is the move I was talking about in 2020, where it literally went from $10 to $483. Now, who wouldn't have wanted to be a part of that? Whether you like the company or not, it doesn't matter. We're here to make money. So then, of course, it came off. Looked like it consolidated for a while, and then it just really sort of fell apart until 2 days ago when Buzz started to go through the 50. And you can see at that point, it started to show some leadership against the SPY. And if we go down here to the momentum, it cleared. There was no divergence. It actually cleared the 50-day moving average the same day it cleared the 50-day moving average in price. Now, what's interesting about this is if you had gotten in this day, some people were caught off guard unless you were really watching it. That's one thing. But if you didn't get in this day, yesterday, obviously, you could say after 2 days, it really basically doubling in price might get a little tired. What's happening today is an inside day. And you guys have heard me talk about inside days so much that what is our inside days are basically is some level of indecision. And so far, we even have an inside day with a potential doji. It's early as I'm talking to you, but a doji is another signal of indecision when the opening price and the closing price stay virtually the same. So with an inside day, what we like to do is we like to wait either for the outside day to be taken out, or in this case, since we're using these really nice candles, I would say I wouldn't want to wait till 151 because you're going to run into problems at the 200. But I would say that if you get through maybe 140, 141, at least if you look at this as an active trade, you might get a move up to the 200. It might even go beyond. So that's the first one. These are the two that have already begun. Here's the second one is AMC. Now, again, AMC cleared the 50 the same day on the momentum as it did on the price. So it wasn't like it gave us any great heads up. Buzz did. but not because of these two stocks. Same thing, it showed leadership that same day. And just like what I showed you with GameStop, it's actually having an inside day today. So with this one, again, if you wanted to wait for the top of the candlestick, the wick, not the wick, excuse me, the body of the candle, you would wait for this to go over 21. You could risk, let's say, to either the low this day, but that's a lot. That's $6 on this kind of stock. I probably wouldn't do that. I'd probably say I would risk to maybe $4 to see, because we know when these things get going, this can easily head up to 33. And again, if we just look at that same move that we saw, well, this one had a move in 2021. In 2020, it didn't really do very much. It actually happened kind of at the end of 2020. And then in 2021, it made its big move up as a meme stock. It went all the way up to 73. And now, as you can see, it's literally 1/3 of that price. Now, AMC is tied to movies. So considering we're coming back from a COVID situation here in this country, and I did read something very encouraging today that we are at the lowest cases that we've been in a while, then people might start going to the movies. Now we just need some decent movies to go see. All right, the next one that also caught the fever was CLOV. This is Clover Health Investments. Now, for me, who's done what, 2 or 3 videos for y'all now on healthcare as being a growing area, and this stock that's gotten so beat up, I like the fact, and I wish I had been paying attention to this a little bit sooner. It sort of gave you the heads up on the real motion indicator before the price went through. And had you gotten in on this day and risked to under the low of the day that it broke, you would still be in it. The question is it too late? And I would say probably not. We're getting another one of those inside days right here. If it breaks out over the high of this particular day, which is at 385, I don't know if I'd want to risk all the way down to 274. That's $1 on a $3 stock. That's too much. But I might say, on the basis of this sort of consolidation here, I probably would be looking at 334, something like that risk. And we're buying it at 385. That makes a little bit more of a difference. So keep your eye on that. I'm very happy with that one too. Now, this one is already to the moon. This is Cleveland Cliffs. But talk about fundamentals on meme stocks. Here you go. This is in the metals and mining. And in case any of you haven't been paying attention, we're in an inflationary period. And all of the industrial metals and the miners have started to emerge. Gold is actually flying as I'm talking to you as well. So this was actually a really good one to pay attention to, had you been paying attention to. Question is, what do we do now? So let's go back to some history here. We're on new all-time highs, which just gives you the point that I'm trying to make, is these meme stocks shouldn't be dismissed as, oh, those kids. Some of these are really great ideas. Now, I would probably not be so interested in chasing this one unless you're a very short-term type of trader. Next one is Riot. I've got keen eyes on this one as well, because Riot tied to blockchain and Bitcoin has also made a move. And if we take a look here, we're into some little bit of resistance going back to this point here at 22. But once again, we had the divergence with momentum clearing the 50 before the price did. So this clearly would have been the optimal day to get in, but we're not that far. So I would say, kind of like what I showed you with the other one, is maybe what you want to do is risk to, let's say, under 1985 with another interesting setup here of an inside day, with the outside day high being 2146. And I'm writing these down as I talk to you because these are all really great trading ideas. Next one is BlackBerry. BlackBerry actually got an upgrade, I learned on Charles Payne's show yesterday on Fox. And so again, in this case, it relayed maybe a day before on the momentum, but it just now is clearing that 50-day moving average. So you have 732 really here is your 50. If you wanted to go to the day that it closed above, your low here is 713. So about 713 is really where you would risk with a little bit of fudge. And Yet another, well, this one actually is not an inside day because today's low was a little bit lower. So we can use instead some kind of a breakout tomorrow based on, let's say, if we can clear today's high, which so far today's high is 767. All right, next one is Bed Bath & Beyond. I hated this stock for so long, I didn't even look at it. And then, lo and behold, it became a meme stock. And I'm not sure what the fundamentals are, so I'm not even going to begin to say that I do. But this thing also started to fly up here at the end of 2020 into 2021. And really, it basically has been selling off since, except for this one spike here, which I'm guessing had to have something to do with earnings. So now here we are right now. Now this one didn't quite have a mean reversion trade to the sell side because it never cleared the Bollinger Band on the price, only on the momentum indicator here. You can see what I'm looking at right here. But we're holding on the zero line. Obviously, we're above the moving averages, and we're holding above the 200. So if you were interested in this one, I think you have a really, really tight risk to basically whatever this low is. If you wanted to give it a little room, you can say 20 would be my max pain if it breaks down under 20. And I'd probably say, I kind of like to look at past history here where you have a body of a candle open or a close and then a high the next day. And that looks like it's about 2250. So for 2250, that would probably be the place where I might get interested in. Now, the next one is BKKT. I mean, all of these are looking pretty hot right here. They're all clearing that 50-day moving average. This one is actually above the Bollinger Band. I would be a little bit cautious about a potential mean reversion. But at this point, if that doesn't happen, you've got, well, you filled the gap here. I'm looking at the gap from this day to here. Today filled the gap, so I like that. So I would say with this one, if you were interested in, we'd really want to see this. I wouldn't wait all the way down here to the 50, but I would say if this thing holds somewhere around 650, and then really can get back, well, even like if it closes over 750, that could be interesting. Now, Nokia, I just read a whole thing about Nokia. They're also one of these companies that trying to change up how they do business. It's in the telecom. It's been beaten up, as you can see. Unlike the other meme stocks we just looked at, this is actually still in the momentum week. No divergence under the 50-day in price, under the 50-day in momentum, not obviously showing any leadership. So this is not ready yet, which might excite some of you, because what you're going to be watching for, and a good reason to have the plugin, is it clearing the 50-day moving average momentum and then clearing the 50-day moving average in price. So it's not quite ready yet, but definitely one to keep on your radar. Now, here's a stock where we made a lot of money and then this thing really fell out of bed, and this is Virgin Galactic. So this one here, and by the way, again, look at some history here. This thing has made some really nice moves. 2019, that's the move we caught. 2020, we weren't really looking at it very much. But now you can see it's had this tremendous fall from grace. And again, momentum now, right here at the Bollinger Band. I'd like to see it maybe have a little bit more strength, but it is above the 50. Starting to show a little bit of leadership against the benchmark here. And right now having a little bit of consolidation above this 882. So I would say your risk really should not be below 876. When I say 876, I always give it a little fudge, a few cents fudge to give it some room. But if it now clears, I'd still want to say maybe this high right here, which is at 1003. We're so close to 10. I would say over 1003. This thing might be worth a shot. You never know where this thing can go to, especially if it gets some attention. The next one is Palantir. And oh my God, I've talked to you about Palantir because it's a big holding in the ARK fund, which is actually really trying to come back here a little bit. And Palantir is trying to come back here a little bit. So what we have here with Palantir is another situation where we're sort of, I like to say, dancing on the 50-day moving average. 1277, if we took the risk of the day, it cleared it, that would be 1250. So really, you do not want to see Palantir close below 1250. And momentum is improving, leadership is improving. So at this point, if we just go back a little bit, we haven't quite filled this gap to this low right here, this low being 1366. So I would really want to see this close, get over 1366. Interestingly enough, this high here yesterday was 1355. Over 1366, you can risk down to 1250. That's not too bad. This is a stock that moves to see if you can get this stock back up to, let's say, 19 or even 20. That would also be good for the ARK fund, by the way. Now, AMD is actually kind of intriguing me right now. It's actually starting to break out, although it doesn't have the momentum of all the sexier ones we just looked at. So don't get trapped. You want to see momentum improve. It's not that it has to be over the 50, but right now you have your first day over the 50 and the 200-day moving average, while your momentum is not quite there. So you can be a little bit patient on this one. But AMD would be another stock to keep your eye on. And I would probably say if today's going to be the first day, it closes back again over both moving averages with a low of 113.71. Then what you want to do is you also want to see this thing close second day over the 50-day moving average. Let's say we want to see a second day of this close over. Let's just round it off to 118. So this would be something to look at when you get this video tomorrow on Friday. Koss is yet another one. And you can see, look, I mean, just look, there's all of a sudden excitement in the meme world again. This did not have a really pretty picture today if you were still long up here and got caught. But nonetheless, definitely want to keep an eye on. And this is another one kind of like NOC, except in better shape. Momentum looking okay, leadership looking okay. I'd probably want to see what would happen if we can continue to hold maybe, let's say, around 875. And if we do, perhaps that would be worth a shot. Now, this one I'm really interested in looking at with you because it's in the cannabis place. And Tilray, which we're going to cover in a moment too, is another one like that. Sundial Growers has, look at that. This is already shot up. Another one I wish I had been paying attention to. It's just impossible to look everywhere, which is why it's always good to have a few things you like to watch. But right here, and yet expand your radar. Right here, it cleared the 50 long before price. So this relayed that something was coming. And now you can see here, this day you cleared the 50 and now you're up. But look at this. This is trading in cents, 65 cents. I'm not a huge micro, that they call the micro cap trader now. But again, some of you might be, and at this point right now, it would seem to me that you would either wait for this to get closer back down to around 55 cents, or at this point now, you might as well just wait to see if this clears 70 cents before going in. Tesla, my goodness, who would think that Tesla, of all things, would be a meme stock, but it is. And this was another one, broke through the 50 at the same time the price did. This was, when it got back through 800, probably a key that this thing was going back up. We're now at 1,006. But again, it's having an inside day. Obviously, we'd like to see some kind of correction. Who the heck wants to pay up for this? But if this got anywhere near 950, that would be one thing. But again, if you're a more active trader, we're having an inside day. So if it gets through 140, I would just risk real tight, like maybe, when I say 100, 1,040, maybe to under 1,000, $40 on $1,000 stock isn't bad, to see if this has room to get back up to 1,200. Now, Tilray, more than Sundial, I'm far more interested in. And I think last week I covered with your daily 5, Grow Generation. So Grow Generation is actually above the 50. This one is not, but it is on momentum. So momentum is increasing. So this one really should be on your radar. Now, my notes to myself this morning were, you had one close over the 50-day moving average. You need a second close over that 50-day moving average, which you can see right now we're below it. So that would be 595. If it can clear 595 and it's not having an inside day, right? Because today's low is 568 and yesterday's low was 569. No, so it broke up by a cent, but close enough. But anyway, if it does get through that 595, I would say probably in the body of this candle right here, 608, I might just give it a little bit of room, get in at around 608, 610, and then you could really risk tight to today's low, which is 560. What do we say? 568 with a little bit of fudge. And I like that one a lot because that one can get going too. Last one is one, my God, I've talked about this one so often. We're in it. At some point, we'll probably add to it, but this is silver. Now, silver went through a meme stock period. In fact, I was long when this thing flew back here in 2020. We had already bought it down here in April after the pandemic low. And this was just like, whoa, surprise, surprise. And, you know, we've been in and out of silver for a while, but now we have a golden cross. Momentum is good. It could get even better. I'd like to see the momentum match up a little bit more to the recent high. And it's not even showing leadership to the SPY. So it's still a relative underperformer, which doesn't bother me at all. But you can see that 2230 is really your area that has to hold on the golden cross. But at this point now, I would say if silver can continue to hold, say, between 2275 and 2340, this would, to me, be an opportunity to see if this thing has legs to get much higher. And there's plenty of reasons for that.
Okay, so that's it, guys. Hope you have a lot of great ideas coming from today's video that you can take with you at the end of this week and into next week. Because let's face it, if the market stays hot, meme stocks will be a really fun place to go for some quick money. Thanks so much, and bye for now.
Hey guys, Dave Keller here with StockCharts.com. Thanks so much for watching our video. If you enjoyed it, and we hope you did, hit the like button right below. Also, we have so much new content every day. Consider subscribing to the channel. Just hit the subscribe button in the video or right below. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Have a fantastic day.